Hi, this is Tamares. Welcome to this presentation about developing your skills as an RA. If you miss something, you can rewind. You can also pause. Enjoy that you can do that now since it won't happen when you come to training in September. Let's get started. These are a list of employability skills, sometimes referred to as soft skills. The training we provide to student leaders addresses the key skills identified under the headings interpersonal skills, communication, teamwork, problem solving, planning, and learning. Communication is clearly one of the most important skill sets in today's workplace, and this includes the RA position. Regarding teamwork, the best RAs are those that their peers can depend on. You will find out that you sink or swim together. Problem solving is all about taking the initiative, listening to a problem, and figuring out what the next steps are to either resolve the issue or start that process. Planning includes your administrative skills and timekeeping. In order to balance your life as an RA, student, and person, planning skills are key. Learning, well, even after training, you will not know everything. That is okay, and we expect that. This job, however, will help you to become a lifelong learner. We're now going to look at each of the skill areas, and you can see the bullet points for a number of examples of actions that you can take as an RA to demonstrate this skill set. These are also action sentences for each of these skills that you can use in your CV during interviews to tell prospective employers what you bring to the team. Most important in this skill set is actually getting to know your residents. Let me repeat that. The most important thing in this skill set is actually getting to know your residents. This includes being accessible to them and showing through your actions that residents can come to you with their problems and their concerns. The only way people will come to you with their problems is if you're present and give them an opportunity to get to know you in advance. As RAs, you will work to appropriately direct your residents to university resources, and most of all, maintain confidentiality. You will not gossip to other residents, or other RAs for that matter, about the issues students have told you. However, you should always keep your line manager updated about student concerns. So, important things to remember when it comes to confidentiality. First, you cannot promise a resident you will not say anything to anyone about their problems or circumstances. Your line manager should be aware in order to support the student and you. Promise them that you will only talk to the appropriate person about it instead. Second, most of your residents are over 18, which means that as adults you need their permission to pass any information related to their academic performance, social life, personal problems, etc., to family, friends, or anyone besides your line managers. Remember, it's okay to go up the ladder, but not sideways. Having said that, going sideways sometimes helps you get advice on how to handle situations from returning or more experienced staff. You can do that without breaching confidentiality if you just discuss a case and not a specific person. So don't reveal any specific personal information when you discuss your residents' circumstances, and remember to always do so appropriately. Your residents are people, not case studies. Remember that you should always keep your line manager informed of resident issues and concerns. And we're back to communication. At this point, you could probably tell me all of the different aspects of communication, both verbal, body language, and written. We will have training sessions in the autumn session specifically related to communication. Remember though, this is the skill set on which all other aspects are based. Due to the nature of your post and your position as a peer educator and student leader amongst your residents, your communication skills will be the very first thing that will impact your relationships with your residents, teammates, and your line manager. This type of pressure could either improve your communication or make you give up on it entirely. So what are the basic signals that you need to keep in mind? First, are you listening to others? When was the last time you walked away from a conversation thinking, what was that about? Save time and conflict by clarifying and asking your questions. Second, are you making the speaker feel heard and understood? Are you making them feel judged or as if they're imposing? Third, are you keeping in mind that you're supposed to be the specialist in communication and not your students? Be aware of individual differences in nonverbal signals and adjust yours to theirs. Finally, are you managing your stress and monitoring your emotions? Or are you letting it all spill out to your teammates and your residents? Understand and empathize with what is really troubling other people, including yourself. Understand yourself, including what's really troubling you and what you really want. Speaking of stress and emotions, teamwork. Can you work independently and as a dependable part of the team? Do you recognize the strengths and areas of improvement for yourself as well as for your fellow RAs? Do you assist each other in these areas? Do you give positive and constructive feedback? These are all aspects of teamwork. As the RA, residents might see you as the person with all the answers. Don't worry, this is not what we expect from you. However, we do expect that our RAs can work within the knowledge and experience that we give you to help residents develop practical solutions. Take the initiative if you see something that needs to be done or improved, and utilize your fellow RAs to solve problems in teams. Even though it is crucial to ask your line manager for advice and guidance in situations, remember to come to them with solutions, and not just problems. They will tell you when your solution sucks and why, but at least you will get an opportunity to learn from a situation. In the past, I have heard RAs say, "Oh, this is not my problem. I will pass it on to the warden." Or, "I will get them to sort it out." Take responsibility of the situation and act as a representative of your team, your line manager, your department, and your university. After all, your residents need to know who they're dealing with and trust. Planning incorporates your administrative skills. You were hired because we think you can handle this position in addition to your coursework and still maintain a personal life. In order to do those things, you need to plan and manage your time. Now, different people find different tools useful for this. You might need a written calendar on your wall that shows what's due day by day, week, month, and the entire semester. Or you might prefer to use technology, an iPad, smartphone, etc. Find the method that works for you and use it. Personally, you will see that I'm never without my to-do lists. Work with your line manager and other RAs to establish clear goals and deadlines. Think about all aspects of a situation and weigh the pros and cons when you're planning. Finally, collect feedback and make educated decisions based on that feedback for future situations. Feedback is the breakfast of champions, so don't be afraid to ask for it. University and the RA position are all about accepting the fact that you do not know everything. Take this experience as a way to be a lifelong learner. Now that we've been through the skill areas, think about which ones are your strengths and which ones you might need to specifically focus on to improve. Trying to improve is a way of managing your own learning. With RA training just around the corner, we ask you to be open to new ideas and techniques and have enthusiasm for learning something new. You have now completed the presentation. Yay! The next one will give you an idea of how accommodation services clusters all those skills together into 3 overarching competencies that you need in order to complete all stages of performance evaluation with your line manager throughout the year. Now you can go make some tea and come right back.